It all starts with your first step. Curiosity. It's a trip worth taking. A need to know more, to understand better, to challenge yourself. To begin with, your destination seems a long way away. But once you've taken that leap of faith in yourself, everything starts to become clearer. And when you least expect it, it has become reality. It's happening. A surge of concepts, connections, ideas, and inspiration carrying you to what you want to become. You seized the day, created your path, and walked along it. You feel wiser, enriched, and more complete. Because you are.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Welcome, everybody. We are here from MIB Trieste School of Management, together with Nicola Redi from Oblu Venture Capital, with Francesco Venier, who is the director of the MBA program, with one of our current participants, Nadia Fabrizio, and with me, Floriano Grazzi, who is program manager for the course. This evening, together, we will see how we thought the program and how we envision your possible experience within it, and basically what you can expect from the program and this experience. So I will leave the floor to Francesco.
Share the screen, include sound. We don't need it anymore, okay? Okay, so we are ready. So again, good afternoon, everybody. Can you have the mouse so I move? The idea of this program is already 6 years ago.
Yeah.
We started to think about an executive MBA. MIB is a business school that is working in Northern Italy on MBA programs since 1988. So we have 37 years of experience on MBAs. We ran the first executive MBA in Italian in 2003. And we decided 6 years ago to upgrade our offering with a new executive MBA that is unique, as far as we know, in Europe, with this specific cut that is dedicated to not only managers like a traditional MBA, but to scientists and entrepreneurs willing to grow their businesses, and to managers in companies that are looking after big investments in new business models, or starting new branches of their business that need entrepreneurial mentality in their managers. So this idea has been extremely successful. We have been presenting this program also in international context as a kind of benchmark for European, at least, business schools. And the idea is focusing the entrepreneurship efforts on new technologies, in particular to a specific class of new technology that is called deep tech, that are basically hard science technologies with real breakthroughs that can produce products that are totally innovative and potentially transforming specific parts of our life. MBA combines a solid MBA course that is at AMBA standard, and soon I'll tell you more about this, with a business innovation edge that is focusing on innovating business, whether it is a startup or established business that needs to rethink its business models or part of its business models. The The mouse is not working. Okay. The program is, since it's so ambitious, the program is not born in the void. It's not only born in the business school, but it's born by a partnership, especially with Blue. That I mean, Nicola Reddit is here with me, and that I will give him the floor in a second. Has been talking with me and with me, but for a long time before we decided to start with a full-fledged MBA. But the idea was to bring the success of the Executive MBA, the flexibility, the ability to enter into managers and entrepreneurs' agenda with a compatible level of commitment with the business commitments. At the same time, pushing towards innovation, pushing towards the creation of value with new technologies. Bunion is a partner that entered the partnership 3 years ago. And this is the most important, is one of the leading European intellectual property consulting companies, for sure the most important in Southern Europe for intellectual property. It's basically a lawyer firms, but they join us also in the program to teach the subtleties of this specific topic that is fundamental for innovation. So I said Executive MBA in Business Innovation is AMBA accredited. AMBA is the association of MBAs, and is the most important accreditation for an MBA. Since an MBA, Master of Business Administration, is international standards, to be recognized by employers and by, I mean, also the firms that invest in these kind of programs, requires an external source of accreditation that is AMBA. AMBA is extremely sophisticated and keen into verify every single aspect of the program, from the participants, from the programs of the courses, the level of the faculty, and he does blind interviews with students, with employers, in order to guarantee that the program not only fits the standards in terms of contents, but also fits the standards in terms of learning at the end of the program and value creation for the employer and for the participant. So the participant has, with a number accredited Executive MBA, the guarantee that he is investing in the right direction, his time and his money. The employer is guaranteed by AMBA that he is employing a talent that has been trained and formed in the relevant issues of management. And of course, for a business school, it's an international credibility and status symbol that puts MIB inside the restricted set of business schools, European business schools. Actually, worldwide business school, even if AMBA is a British standard, has become the world standard for MBAs. This Executive MBA in particular, aiming to attract entrepreneurs and managers, not only leverages the 20 and plus years of experience in Executive MBAs of MIB, but is also the first to offer an Executive MBA in a light blended mechanism, format. Light blended means that one lecture out of 5, 1 day out of 5, is produced online. So we teach online for 20% of the time in order to reduce the number of travels and physical commitments of the class. We still retain 80% in class because we consider the networking part of the program, the interaction among the students, as a fundamental pedagogic component of the program. And so we want you, the participants, to really interact also in the physical world during the 2 days per month, more or less. Actually, even less, because with the 20% online is 2 days every 1.5 months on average, to interact, create relations, build trust, build connections that will last all your life and will help you in solving your problems even years after you finish the MBA. Very important, we are not streaming the lectures because we want you to come in class when there is class lectures. 100% of lectures, though, are recorded. So if you really cannot come to class, you can still recover what you missed by looking at the videos, talking with the teams in which you work during the lectures. And so you will be helped by the team. But we want to put a bit more pressure than in the past in participating, because our Italian MBA is the 27th edition now, is totally in class, and the level of interaction among the students that we obtain there is really a plus for the class. So we want to force, even if this MBA is made of entrepreneurs that are full of commitments and issues in their agendas, we still want to force them to come, because that's value for them, not only for us. So the learning experience is largely based on teams, cases, action learning, application of what you learn, nothing to do with the traditional academic ex cathedra lectures. We use, of course, online tools like Teams, that is what we're using also now. Mural, Trello, depends on the professor, they can use different tools. The constant interaction among participant teams and lecturers makes the program content naturally evolve in line with the class needs along the whole length of MBA. It's normal for us to have requests from the class to increase the number of hours of a certain professor, and we try to do it in some buffers that we have provided inside the program for that reason. Some facts, just to give you a more graspable image of the program. We have an MBA core that is the AMBA accredited, is basically designed by the international standard. It's 40 credits, but even in the MBA core, where you learn the general management, finance, accounting, and so on, even there, we use cases and examples that come from innovative industries, from high-tech industries, in order to give anyway, also in the MBA core, specific contents that help the kind of participants we have in this program. Then we have the deep tech venture, 22 credits, that Nicola will talk you, so I won't spend much time. It is fundamental. It's what makes this program unique. Very hands-on, very pragmatic, very business, real business, live business oriented. It is an executive program, so all the participants are executives with a solid work experience, either in science or as entrepreneurs or as managers, but they bring their experience in class, and we leverage that experience as part of the program. So that's why we want you to come in class, because we, with our professor, with our methodologies, we will leverage what you already know, and we share this knowledge in the class, multiplying the skills, not only through the theoretical lecture, the theoretical models, but also through the real storytelling among participants. Open innovation ecosystem is what we obtain through this process. So we have a mix of participants from established businesses, innovative startups. We have an ecosystem made of the professors. Many of the professors work into innovative industries. So this ecosystem becomes a value for the class, not only among the networks of the participants, but also the network of participants with MIB networks, professors networks, and the alumni that you join when you join an MBA from MIB. Real work cases, we work on real deep tech companies. Basically, Oblu is a partner that also brings in class around 8, 10, 15, sometimes startups, real startups in which they have invested. So with a real commitment to the objectives, to the results. And this makes this program very, very hands-on and very focused on delivering value for real entrepreneurs. Actually, the startups of Oblu or even of other participants can become also the object of the final project, but a little bit more later. The program is taught 100% in English and is held in Milan, basically. We also have 2 full weeks in Trieste. The first one, we start with a full week in Trieste where we build the team, we build the class, we make 30 people that doesn't know each other on Monday become friends on Friday, okay, or Saturday. So this is a very important part, the first week, and then the last week in which we squeeze and some other content that are functional, especially to the final project delivery, the pitch of the project and all that kind of skills that you need to be effective in also in fundraising. The structure is part-time, as I said, so it's really fits the busy agendas of the participants. It's basically one Friday and Saturday per month, but the travel is one every 2 months, basically. So it's very, I would say, compatible with all agendas. More than 500 contact hours. This is 500 is the minimum required by AMBA, but we exceed that. And then experiential learning, hands-on, doing things, not just talking about things. So the MBA core, we said, the 40 credits of the MBA core are basically made by these courses: financial accounting, strategic management and organization, agile operation and project management, corporate finance, marketing management, and managerial accounting. So you see, half of the program of the MBA core is basically on numbers, finance and accounting. The other half is on strategy, marketing, and project management, agile. The leadership dynamic course is instead a transversal part of the program. Is one of the 2 courses that cut in horizontal the program. I mean, while the 6 MBA fundamentals are basically courses that start and end in 2 months, so you have 1 topic per time. You have 2 other courses, that is leadership dynamic and the deep tech venture, that is basically the entrepreneurial management course. They run through the whole program. So you will have financial accounting 1, 2, 3, and then either leadership dynamics or entrepreneurship or venture academy. So these 2 programs are giving you the flavor and the mentality. We need them to be transversal to create a mentality, a mindset of the leader. So skills in leadership and developing this kind of soft skills that are fundamental, especially for scientists that tend to be very rational, very data-driven, and sometimes underestimate the importance of managing people and the delicacy of managing people. So it's very important. And the second fundamental transversal course is the deep tech venture, that is basically building new business, so transform ideas into products and business with new business modeling, agile and lean management, new product development, design thinking lab, strategic IP, and AI drive project management. Venture Academy, understand it this is a new thing that we introduced this year to increase the skills and the understanding of how funding works for a startup. Either this is a real startup that is looking for a venture capitalist to invest, or an internal startup that is looking for company funding for a new idea. You need to understand what is the objective, the mindset, the KPIs, how an investment round works, how you should approach investors, how to talk to investors, how to pitch your idea in order to obtain what? Obtain the funding. Obtain the deal. Finally, deep tech business is IoT, robotics, life science, is basically a set of meetings, set of lectures, of seminars of 1 day or 2 days on specific topics that are basically the panorama of the deep technology that are on the base of basically all the startups, or most of the startups we have in our program. So what is the MBA value? For the executive, it completes your professional profile with an MBA. MBA is a standard, is the maximum level of education in management. Understand the business implication of technologies. So understanding how technology can impact your operations, the way you work, but also the way you create value, so the business models. Develop a solid entrepreneurial mindset. This is the reason why big companies send some of their managers, because they want more entrepreneurial managers. At the same time, scientists need to develop this as well, because switching from the lab to the market requires, a change in perspective. gain knowledge and confidence to take part in your company's strategic decision. You will get a language, you will get the ability to understand what's behind cryptic words like EBITDA or VACC or whatever. Okay, so terms that are normal in the funding area will become normal also for you. You will be able to discuss, not being misled by the lack of confidence in what you are hearing. Of course, as I already said, enter the network of MIB alumni and create the network of connection with your classmates is another very important plus that you get from participating. For the corporation, you create a task force of change agents. So companies that need to innovate probably should choose this program if they want to build people that is oriented to change and to innovation. Develop the management team for highly dynamic new business units. If you want entrepreneurship in your company, you have to deal with people that think like an entrepreneur, and this is the course that the program produces that. You increase motivation as well, because you bring people out of their routine into a very dynamic environment of learning and change. Of course, you build and you invest your knowledge base in the company. Skills inside the company come through people that learns new things, learns new skills, and gives them to the everyday work in ours. And finally, understand the value of open innovation and how to set up corporate venture capital unit if you are in this kind of need. Finally, the value for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs that are coming from a more traditional entrepreneurial set, they become more professional, more managerial oriented, less driven by passion, by intuition. That is still important. We're not killing that, but we want to make this passion and intuition become sharper through the use of technical and managerial knowledge to improve the likelihood of success. Understand how to turn technical and scientific discoveries then into winning products and companies is the central value proposition for entrepreneurs in this program. Also, transform yourself with your CEO and CTOs, understanding the intricacies of finance, of technologies, of investments, of the return of these investments in your company in order to be, wise and rational into managing your company. Put yourself in the shoes of your prospective investors and be ready to fundraise. So the venture school gives you the perspective of not of yourself, of the entrepreneur that is asking for money, but the perspective of the investor that has the money and has to decide whether or not to trust your design, your project. This helps you to be more effective in showing the value you're creating, in showing the quality of your product, of your business, and convincing the investor to follow your vision. Then, of course, again, as for the executives, enjoy the networking of MIB and the networking of the class. On the other side of this slide, you see two numbers. The first one is the amount of millions that has been risen by participants of the first two editions of the Executive MBA Business Innovation. That is 60 millions. So we had a lot of very successful rounds A, some were probably exits, some were instead read around A, maintaining the management team that funded the company. Anyway, 60 million, I think, is something unique in the panorama of these kind of programs. Probably is north also of most venture capital funds that we know, at least in this part of Europe. But I think that Oblu and Nicola will tell you more in a second. The second number is 34. Is the percentage of startups that we have in this program. So we had 34 startups in two editions, and we're looking for another 15, 20 in the next edition. If you go ahead, my last slide is about your learning experience. If you join the program, you will not work on your own. It is not a traditional academic cold lecture in which there is a professor teaching and the student taking notes and then doing the exam. Here you work in teams from day one. We build the teams according to diversity, according to balancing the skills and the experiences of the participants. We do that in the first week. That's another important reason why we want you to stay for the first week together. And you will work in this context, okay? Highly motivated team of peers using digital tools. You will work on a real startup project. Most of the startup project will be projects of the people inside the masters. Top faculty, we bring to this program our best professors and visiting professors. Learning modules, so lectures are interactive and the cases are discussed in presence or online in a modular approach in order to allow you to focus on one topic per time. In the full-time masters, in the full-time MBA, we have several topics, several subjects in parallel. In this executive, we have one subject per time. So you enter into a subject, let's say managerial accounting, you do 3 lectures, 3 two-day lectures, so it's a lot of hours, 48 hours. And then you have an exam. Once you have passed the exam, you switch to the next topic. So it is another way to make it easier for you to focus on learning while also focusing on running your business and launching it with success. Continuous mentoring, individual and team mentoring. We listen to you. We are open to not only mentor, but also to coach you if you need. We have professional coaches that can be activated just in case. Managing entrepreneurship, integrating MBA level skills with entrepreneurial mindset. This is, we are repeating thing, I think 10 times already, but this is really our key issue. Creating managerial mentality in the participants and entrepreneurial mentality in the participants. So merging the two mentalities into one. Leadership skills and development, we said, fundamental, learning that throughout the whole program, and then the Venture Academy. That is something that Nicola owns and will tell you more about. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesco. So you might ask yourself, why did a venture capital firm work together with a business school to establish such a program? Why are we basically focusing our program in deep tech ventures? So the first why is answered by this number, 81%. It is a research performed by Boston Consulting Group, and they actually discovered that when it comes to deep tech, 81% of investors lack the expertise to assess deep tech potential. So we said, we have a problem here. On one side, we must teach our entrepreneurs to speak the language of investors, otherwise they won't be understood by investors. It would be a hell of a job to fundraise. But looking to the other perspective, this program is also designed for those that are willing to enter the venture capital industry, whether it is financial venture capital or corporate venture capital, that doesn't matter. And we want to give those people the expertise on how deep tech changes the world of business, what deep tech is really all about, and therefore how they can become investors in that specific area of technology. Now, when it comes to deep tech, there have been several definitions. Now, on one side, deep tech is pretty much a complex area because we have to combine the curiosity-driven approach that is the typical approach of basic research and the market-driven perspective that is the one that we need in order to establish new businesses. So what we want to focus on are those technologies that on one side are the result of applied basic research, and therefore the heart of science and technology, academia and research centers. But on the other hand, those scientific funding have a very specific application in a market or in society. The definition of deep tech is actually that deep tech is the combination of different approaches. So deep tech is not just about advanced science. What we have to do is that we have to build advanced products, and those products are at the heart of the intersection of design thinking, which basically means understanding what your customers are willing to have and how you can meet the needs of your customers. Product engineering. Product engineering is different than advanced science. Advanced science gives you knowledge and technologies, but then you have to turn technologies into complex products. And those complex products have to solve the needs of your customers. This is why we have to combine those three different methodologies: product engineering, design thinking, and advanced science. But when it comes to those complex products, we also know that in deep tech, it's not just a matter of a product that relies on one technology. Maybe the breakthrough technology will be either on the energy part or the computational science or, let's say, the robotic arm. But nevertheless, when you build a product, every product has a combination of all different technologies, and understanding how to deal with the complex products is also one of the goals of this master. And when we move from deep tech into deep tech companies, we also understand that creating a deep tech company is pretty much like launching a payload on space. What you need is definitely you need a rocket. And basically your technology, your intellectual property is, and the expertise in that technology is your rocket. But you can't go anywhere if you don't have fuel. And this is basically the capital side. So how do you make sure that your rocket is going to be refueled with the appropriate capital? That is the point. Third, we need management. The crew that is driving and piloting this shuttle. It is either yourself that turn to be from scientists into entrepreneurs, and that happens, or we want to give you the ability to understand who are the right people that you have to hire in your company so that your rocket will be driven in space with, let's say, the best expertise. But then we need two other dimensions. The first dimension is what we call the launch procedure, industrial partners. The majority of deep techs are in the B2B market. So how do we set up relations with industrial partners? Probably among the MIB alumni associations, they are the industrial partners that you're looking for. They might be even in your class, but what really matters is that you understand how you interact with those partners and how you can extract value so that the partners are going to test your product first and launch your business in the sky. And then you need an infrastructure which is not anymore your lab. You have to exit the lab and enter the real world. This is why, on example, we are going to have some modules of the MBA in one of the largest infrastructure that test advanced technologies for manufacturing, the manufacturing world, which is actually LEF. LEF stands for Lean Experience Factory. It's a joint venture between McKinsey and the Northeast Italian Association, and is the world's largest integrated model company, where actually on one side we train corporations in the use of advanced methodologies and technologies and changing manufacturing, but on the other way around is a test bed for testing new technologies that will have an impact on the world of manufacturing. So the Deep Tech Edge Network is based on LEF, as I explained to you previously, which is the world largest digital integrated model factory. We have a strong relation with Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna. Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna is actually one of the most advanced schools. It's a small university, actually was the ranked number 6 in the world in terms of small universities in 2022, and is an advanced school, a graduate school. So they basically release only PhD and master courses, not undergraduate courses in applied sciences, economics management, and more important in robotics, biorobotics, data science, etc. And then, of course, it is us as venture capitalists and Bunion, the IP company that we already have introduced to you. Floriana?
Yes, thank you very much, Nicola. So this is a general overview of our next program calendars. You will, as you see, there are the already mentioned 2 full weeks in Trieste, once at the very beginning and the other one at the very end of the program, just before your graduation. Let me just tell you about the project discussion. As Francesco already briefly mentioned to you, your final project is basically the creation of the most thorough business plan that we can figure out based on the several startups that we will host inside with you participants, basically. So we will group you in pairs or 3 people according to your different expertise. So we would like to pair an entrepreneur, so the originator of the ideas and the company, a manager, so somebody who is currently employed in a company or is or has previous expertise, at least, either because he has an already established company as an entrepreneur, him or herself, or as, for example, that is the case of Nadia, which is here today, as a tech transfer manager or responsible for a hub that helped in the past the startups to develop their services and products. So that is the idea. And you will discuss these business plans and you will be pitching the companies not only to the academic commission, but, which is most important, in front of a group of venture capitalists selected according to the topics or the industries in which the startups are working in, and who will evaluate your picture and your ideas. So giving you, let's say, some more information on how you can develop your ideas or what you can do better, basically. So this is our configuration. You will see, you're seeing the red circled weekends are those that we are conducting online, and they are spread throughout the calendar. And as per the program itself and how it is conducted, my job will be to create the safest possible place for you to share your opinion, your ideas, your whatever you deemed interesting and whatever doubts you might have on your businesses and your ideas, because that's the most valuable thing, in my opinion, that we are creating inside the program. So your participation is actually the most important thing about not only this program, actually. Every MBA program requires your participation as the most fundamental part for creating value. But I think in this program, this is particularly true because there are, let's say, no established literature about what makes a startup successful. I mean, we are starting now to see with longitudinal studies what are the characteristics that might lead to your success, most probably than other. But you see, you will be your cases, you will be your experiences shared with everyone will create the value that you will gain out of this program, basically. I don't know if, yes, I can
add something as
Yeah,
a
please.
participant of the last class. Okay, 2 years have passed very, very soon, and I couldn't imagine my life now. Well, how my life was before this experience and now. I just to say something about my story and why was why I decided to take this class. I have done technology transfer all along my life and innovation, but I decided to change the mindset because with the advent of the breakthrough technologies like artificial intelligence, of the new space economy, things are changing at a very, very fast pace. And so what I think is that if you want to take an MBA, a simple MBA is not enough to be a game changer. It is okay if you want to be a good manager, but if you want to change things, so to make the difference, you need today to understand innovation. But to understand innovation, believe me, is not enough if you don't understand the deep tech. And there is no other place now in Italy where you can find in the same class people that have done technology or innovation in their life, like managers like me, and at the same time, people that are scientists that have already demonstrated to have very, very clever ideas or to be on topics that really matters. I think, for example, in the class where I was, there was a startup that was doing something that is very, very close to DeepSeek. Everybody has heard about DeepSeek. And at the same time, we have a startup that is a giant already today in biotech, in drug discovery with AI. So I had the opportunity day by day to learn by entrepreneurs, and I really thank Nicola and Francesco to admit in me, because thanks to this master now today, I can say I'm not a deep tech expert. I remain a digital transformation expert, but I understand deep tech, and also I understand the investor perspectives. That is also very, very important, because if we want to build everything also in our company today, we cannot do this without understanding the basics of investment. That is something that is different from the managerial aspect. I don't have any other things to add. I think that is much. And if there are some questions, I'm happy to reply.
Thank you very much, Nadia. I think your experience summarize in just a few words what we tried to convey in the previous speeches. And so I do believe that the floor is yours, future participants. We are at your disposal at once.
Do you have any other questions? So
yes.
Keep at some aspects.
So
Can ask.
I want only to add another thing, but it is about the diversity, because we had a class where there was a huge presence of women, but if you are a woman, do not hesitate to take part to this, because we need also a lot of women in deep tech and in innovation. So especially call for women.
Thanks, Nadia. We also had a huge diversity in age. Sorry.
Yes, thank you very much for this excellent presentation. I'm actually Dr. Tehseen Nisar, Italian Pakistani woman who is a digital empowerment innovator, having a doing liaison between Pakistani academic and think tanks with Italian NGOs. And I'm looking towards, learning more towards business management and innovation strategies for women empowerment, particularly. I'm extremely interested in knowing more about, the studies and business management, entrepreneurship techniques, and technocratic kind of dimensions into empowerment of women. So I would be really interested, because I just, wrote my interest, and I got a call back, like I got an email back, and I would be extremely interested in knowing about the cost structure of this course. Secondly, I would also be interested in knowing the duration. What will be the duration of the course? About the cost structure, I would like to know three things. The first thing is that would the tuition cost be included in the the package? What would be like the semesterial cost? So I would like to know a little bit about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you. So the program will start next June 23rd, and you will have hopefully the graduation in April 2027. So basically,
lectures will finish in February.
Yes, it's a 22 months program totally, including the couple of months between the last class and your thesis discussion. With regard to how the program is built, basically we try to concentrate the most part of the core courses in the first part of the program. So to give you, even if you don't have any managerial knowledge before, the basics with which you will be able to discuss further topics later on in the program. So we will start basically, for example, with financial accounting, which is the very basic to understand how the structure of your economics will be built. And we will, as Francesco was telling before, we group courses, and so you will have financial accounting for a couple of months, and you will take the exam on financial accounting, and then you will start the next course. So you will have the time to concentrate on one topic per time. Then with regards to the last question, as you seeing in the slide that is currently on display, we will have several discounts available according to, for example, if you are recognized as an innovative startups, we can discount you for 12,000 euros. Then also, if you are an innovative SMEs, you will have a substantial discount of 8,000 euros. And we do also have discounts for women participants. And if you reside more further than 500 kilometers from Milan, which is the venue for the vast majority of our classes, you will be hear from us soon if you wrote us and if you applied for more information. This was our first presentation of the new program, and I don't know if we are going to have any more live.
We will have some more between here and
June. Yes, and anyway,
couple, I would say.
Yes, and I am basically available to all of your questions via email, and being my address, my name and surname at mib.edu.
Atanas?
Yes, hello everyone, good evening from my side as well. Hopefully I'm hearable and visible. So thank you for the presentation so far. I have a question regarding, actually two questions. One is on the component which is the deep tech or the AI driven component of the program. To what an extent do we go deeper into the technology? So my question is, do we go really understanding how do the technologies work, not being able to do them, but do we go to understanding the different types of technologies and be able to navigate among them, or we go a little bit deeper? This is my first question. And my second question is, I understand the program is tailored to different groups of people, which makes it very rich, I think. And can you share with me and with the other interested people here in the call, what are the usual career paths for people who are coming from the managerial side after the program? What are the opportunities which the program opens for them outside of their companies? Thank you.
Okay, let me answer to the AI question, which is a very good question. Thank you. The idea here is that we are not going to teach people how to make anything on AI, so it's not technical. That would be also because on one side, for some people, it would be very difficult to understand unless you have some background in linear algebra at least. But so for others, an example, in this cohort of students, we have many data scientists and many people with a PhD in AI and for them would be just simply, I mean, fresh water. So the idea is to give to participants the perspective on how AI can be used in business. Doesn't mean that as far as not all the businesses, not all the technologies that are in class will be just based on AI. But on example, there might be other businesses that are, I don't know, working on life science or whatever. So you as an entrepreneur should know that AI might enable something. And I don't know, certain kind of services, etc., etc. So on example, the third part of the deep tech edge is about understanding how the different technologies work in terms of business. There's an example a couple of days on life science. Why do we have life science? I mean, there are just a tiny portion of participants who are working in life science, but we truly believe that as everyone understands how the business works in life science, that is pretty much an information that you have to know, because maybe your business model would be looking more the one in life science, even if you're not working in life science. So when it comes to deep tech, how deep tech enables different business models, that is the key. So we want people to have the flavor of how businesses are driven by certain areas of technologies. So it might be definitely that if you're an AI expert, you get bored in listening the basics of what is the difference between, I don't know, a trained or let's say a supervised or not supervised algorithm. This is something that, for example, someone will tell you, and you know it since you were a kid, let's say in the primary school, but nevertheless, there will be other people who know nothing about it. And then you say, okay, now I got it. So I know that for my business, I would need that and that. So that is the idea behind teaching you how AI or any other technology, deep technology, impacts business. In terms of the profile of managers, we have, and we had several, let's say, profile of managers. People that working in big corporations that are willing to innovation example, and they are willing to, on one side, provide their learnings into their own corporations. Some of them were also thinking about spinning out and creating their own startup. So after the corporation, we have two colleagues of ours that are now colleagues of ours that actually went through this program. So you can enter the venture capital industry after this program. That was also in one of them. She has a PhD in physics, another she has a PhD in microelectronics, and that was the perfect timing for them to be educated and become venture capitalists.
And then it's an MBA. So you have an AMBA MBA that any company in the world understands is a real MBA and considers you for position for MBA skilled people with the flavor of innovation. So this is something that makes it different, this MBA a bit different from the standard old school MBA. So companies looking for, shaking the organization could be interesting in having somebody that knows about open innovation, knows about deep tech, knows about venture funding, knows about how to pitch an idea to the board in order to make the board understand the value of that idea and invest in that. So this kind of companies will be interested and open to recruit people with this kind of background.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And one follow-up question, because in addition to my managerial career, I'm also a co-founder in a medical startup. And you mentioned that it's possible to use a real startup from one of the participants into a final project. Can you elaborate what's exactly happening in this final project? Thank you.
So basically, the final project, you will have to apply, meaning you will need to say to us, I would like to put my idea on the table. We'll pair you with, as we said, complementary figure expertise with respect to yours, okay? And you will develop as much as you can about a business plan that could be suitable for be sending out to funders, okay? So to venture capitalists. And this is, let's say, in between your academic duties. So we will need as much details as possible to evaluate it from the academic point of view. And you will, of course, if you need assistance from the various professor lecturers that you that follow you during the program, you might ask their let's say consultancy, their help, meaning I thought to do this and that in my financial to the corporate finance lecturers. Is it okay? It's not okay. What should I put instead, etc. So you will have this kind of help, let's say so. And then you will have this opportunity to pitch. So you will need to condense the business plan into a 7 minutes of presentation of your business idea, and you will pitch in front of venture capitalists in a, let's say, sort of a demo day, because you will one after the other present your ideas, and people from the audience will ask you questions. For example, how do you envision the process for this kind of new services, new product be approved by the FDA or the European equivalent? So
the idea here, Atanas, is that basically, as an investor, I've seen many accelerator programs or incubators, those that are telling you how to pitch, how to make a business plan, etc. And maybe that lasts for 1 month, a few months or whatever. Here's the idea is that you spend 22 months with an MBA basically means that you get educated in what really running a company is all about. And believe me, in those 22 months, you will discover how you can change the company you're working in. And that happened for, let's say, many of our startup companies. And therefore, the business plan is not just something that you write on Excel or on paper. This, what you learn normally, is basically something that you build in those 22 months. And you build it in a way that on one side is very structured from a managerial point of view. So the quality of finance, that is, let's say, top of state of the art. But on the other way around, you have understood much better how to frame the business model because you lived it. And also the other fellows lived it. So you have the chance to speak and to have an interaction with other funders in different areas. Some of them have already raised, I don't know, 1 million. Someone is raising the first 100,000 euros. And learning each other, you gain something that none of the accelerator program have seen allow any of the funders learning. Plus, with the managers, you will have the chance to understand soon what is the perspective of a corporation, how things are working in the corporation, which is actually your exit or your customer. So you have to know how they do work so that you will be able to deal with them and propose your idea, whether it is for a sale of the company, for an acquisition, or just for, let's say, a contractual agreement of service or whatever.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, if there are not any other questions, I think we can thank you for being with us tonight, and hope to see you in the recruiting process.
yes,
And have a chat individually with all of you to verify basically your motivations and your objectives. So thank you again, and don't hesitate to contact us for anything that comes to your mind, maybe also later tonight or tomorrow, whenever. Okay.
thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.